You're still a land. Someone who always can. Don't you know? Burrito.
Half my fan base comes out just to hear that song. What up, everybody? It's your boy Flobo. This is What's Up, Flobo After Hours. That Monday night delight. It's 10 p.m. on the West Coast, 1 a.m. on the East Coast. Thanks for rocking with me on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and Twitch. And if you're on Twitch, make sure you subscribe, man, because I need those follows. And if you're in the chat, any questions you'll have, I'll read them on the air. We're going to have ourselves a good time. But as always, I am not alone. I gotta say, this individual is one of the coolest people I've ever met in my life. She is a walking action star with an action star name. She can dance, she can sing, she can act, she does a comedy thing, and she has so much energy. I don't know where she gets it from. Please give it up for Miss Jackie Nova.
Hi, how are you? Say hi, Lynn. Hi to everybody.
Hey there, Lynx. He's like, what is going on? You're on the best show ever, baby. That's what it is.
No, isn't it adorable, Lynx? I told you I would get him.
Oh, man, because Lynx was walking on the screen. He was like, yo, let me just make sure I get my screen time on there. I was like, yo, I got you, baby. Yeah, Jackie Nova, how are you?
I am good. So good. So many things popping. I feel like during the pandemic, more things have been popping than before the pandemic.
So let's talk about that. Like you were doing so many things. / you were doing the acting thing, you were doing the dancing thing. The pandemic hits. Like, how much time of that was like downtime? It being like, what are we gonna do? To you shifting to what you're doing now.
Well, you know what? What drove me nuts is when people were saying that they were bored. Hey, what's up?
James Lott Jr. in the house. What?
Yeah, they were saying they were bored, but you know, like Richard and I were not bored at all. He built this studio that's behind us. Yeah. Literally, we have a recording studio. We had, and I'm going to show you the calendar. We had an array of like casting directors that we winded up knowing and meeting, and we did monologues, and I have them on Instagram, and I mean, like, we're just becoming friends and more tighter with casting people and even other agencies and other managers. I feel like we're more united.
That has to be the largest schedule I've seen. And it's like filled too. It's not like you do. It's like blank. Like when I buy a notebook and it's blank. It's filled with casting stuff. And so, I mean, you're in a two creative household. I mean, how does that work when you're living on top of each other and stay at home orders? You get like crazy. You get any time alone? Is it like a well-oiled machine? How does that work?
No, I feel like it's a really, really well-oiled machine. Like Richard and I work really well together. He'll pop up. He's over there doing some stuff.
That's Richard Ryan from Oxford's Entertainment.
That's right. He's the CEO, and he is the lead actor of Art of Deception, the director. We produced it together. He also wrote it. He's so super talented.
Yeah.
And it's freaking amazing. Like, the thing is, like, we inspire each other. We pump each other up. If it's like, if I see something that he didn't catch, I just let him know about it, the same vice versa. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah, so I mean, this talk about Art Deception. This is a feature film, which, look, making a movie has to be one of the more, there's so many moving parts to one. And I remember you were telling me, I'm working on this movie, and I apologize, Jackie. I was like, it's Hollywood, whatever. Like, everyone says that. But you made it happen, and then you can now stream it now on Amazon. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, you guys can catch it on Amazon Prime Video. Check it out. Action, suspense, thriller. I will tell you no more because we have been, like, pushing this movie. It's sold to 15 different territories. If I'm wrong, Richard, let me know. There's another maybe it's 17 territories by now. It's all over the world.
Plot twist. Is Richard even home? Because if he isn't, that'd be hilarious. He's all like, "What? Why? I'm outside. I'm in the club." So wait, hold on. So you can't tell me anything more about this movie, but I can. Jackie Nova be punching people in the face. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. It was a good film. Is there going to be a sequel or some sort, or?
We're working on that with Richard's definitely working on that because a lot of people are actually requesting it. So we're like, ooh. Okay. We're gonna have to think about this one. Yeah.
Spy
Yeah,
thriller. So I know that the election was basically a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure you voted because everyone's supposed to vote.
Absolutely. Hello, Biden Harris.
See, you're the second person in 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm not going to ask who'd you vote for, and you're like, Bud.
Oh no, I've been. You know what? You know what's so funny? I was never so into politics, but it was like sometime in September. I was Michael Flood, the writer of there goes links again.
Yeah.
The writer of the short comedy sketch Target Battleground State.
Yeah.
He reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, I want you to play Kamala Harris." And in my mind, I never thought about it because I didn't know a lot about her, even though I knew she was running. So I did so much research, so much that I drowned myself with her to the point where I was like almost nervous when I was gonna let the video out, but then I got such an overwhelming response of like, "Oh my God, you nailed it! Oh my God, this!"
Wait, so you played Vice President-elect Kamala Harris in the clip? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Actually, I actually have a clip of it here. If I can just give me a second, I can load it up. This is Jackie Nova as Vice President-elect Kamala Harris.
Senator Harris, this interview for me is monumental. If I were to bomb it, it wouldn't be unreasonable for me to end my own life.
Keisha, don't be silly. You can call me Madam President. Vice, Madam President. Vice, you know, Kamala's fine.
The thumbs is what sells it for me. Don't be so silly. My goodness, Jackie Nova. What?
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I just got to give you like a quick fun fact. When they hired me to be Kamala Harris, they checked into Ox Films, and Michael Flood was like, "Okay, so then like I need to talk to Richard Ryan." And he spoke to Richard, and he's like, "Okay, I need you to direct this, help me produce this." And Richard was a one-man show.
Yeah.
He literally directed it. He did the sound. We stayed for like, I feel like it was 17 hours to shoot this because Richard wanted every angle of he's like a Tarantino. He wants tons of angles.
Yeah.
Which he also edited the whole
nice.
thing. And he was picky as hell. So we got it done. And then you can let the people know they can watch and listen to the rap that Richard also wrote. He blew my mind. All these years together, I didn't know he could rap.
Yeah.
But he was so into it. He came upon this rap like in no time. It was like seconds.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "We're gonna rap this." And then he coached me in the studio, and I was like, "Holy shit!" But I sing, but I'm not a rapper. But then he was like, "No, you're doing this," and we did it. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm rapping! Like I'm rapping."
Oh my God, I'm rapping.
This video because you know how like Kamala came out in Florida, you know, when she was out there and she was with her umbrella, and I was like, "We're doing a video." And we got to be with the umbrella. And we did this video right here with the screen, right here in the house. That's how we did the video.
Well, now that Kamala's elected, I mean, are we going to see more of Jackie?
Yes.
As the SNL vibe, you're like locked in for the next 4 years? Or
I know.
Let
me tell you, I got people that are trying to work and getting me in that whole SNL thing. But some people are like, "Well, you know, there's Maya Rudolph already doing." And but then there's people that are like, "You're doing it better than Maya Rudolph." And I'm going, "Ooh, look up. Ruffle any feathers."
Hey, look, I am not knocking Maya Rudolph, but you can't have the same person playing Kamala Harris and Aunt Jemima on the same show. That's a cross section of black. That just totally doesn't work for me.
Exactly. Like let someone else have a job. There's room for two of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what's been like the best thing or the most interesting thing about this year? You said you got the chance to work more, you got a chance to meet new people, but like creatively, like what's the thing that you're like, "Oh man, 2020, it ain't so bad." Yeah,
because I feel that 2020, it's like I've gotten the chance. What's up, Haywood?
Haywood Wong.
I feel like, I've gotten the chance to what I've always been dreaming sort of a little bit. Like, it's like I'm getting called in without even auditioning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm getting these emails, and it's happening to Richard too. It's like, we're getting emails, we're getting DM, and they're like, we want to work with you. We want you to do this project. So then it's like, we keep being busy, even though there's a pandemic. Like, even during the heavy in the beginning, there's like voiceover work.
Right.
So I'm like, wait, what is, did everybody fall off? Like, all the talent, like, left somewhere else? Because, like, all of a sudden it's like, phones are ringing, emails are going. I'm like, oh, okay, this is fun.
One of the cool things I realized is that a lot of the things the barriers have been flattened. Like, what we're doing is the same thing like Fox and ESPN were doing for months. So it's like, I may have a chance.
Exactly.
Maybe I should go for this. Yeah.
Look at you with your show. I mean, this is freaking. What's up, Flobo? Like, this is freaking great.
You gotta do my intro from now on. It's now time for what's up.
What's up?
No, I appreciate that. Like, again, it's a brick by brick type thing. And when it was weird, when we all sat home and waited and didn't leave our house for 4 days because we didn't know if it was a toxic gas like in Bird Box, I had something to do to occupy the mind. So I'm totally grateful for it.
I feel like we wrote more. We are more appreciative about life. We're kinder and all that good stuff. I'm not saying that we don't argue or that stuff happens, but but it's all good stuff. Yeah. So good stuff comes out of it.
Do you argue like dramatically? Do you have like the shouting matches? Do you do the silent treatment? Do you do the notes on the fridge? Like, how do you argue?
We've done both.
Okay.
I'm Latina. And he is just like, God, do they all sound like this in New York?
Yes, we all do. Yeah. White people too, yeah.
Yeah, we do.
New Yorkers are loud people because here's my theory. We're loud and we're punctual for two reasons, and it's lack of space. You know what I'm saying? If you in my space, I gotta say, move! And outside is so cold, if I say, meet me at 1 o'clock, and you ain't there at 1:05, I'm leaving your ass. That's just the way we get down in the East Coast. That's just the way it is.
Oh, baby!
Yeah. So we actually met about a little over a year ago in AfterBuzz TV. You guys can look it up. It's on hiatus. Not really.
Bringing the funny. I know. Right?
Yeah. And the show was called Bringing the Funny. It was a comedy competition show. And sometimes AfterBuzz does after shows for shows I don't think need after shows. Like, how do you it's like, that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. But we got together on it, and we kind of made something special about that. We kind of took chicken crap and made.
There's Richard.
Oh, he's actually in the room. Give it up. He's gonna walk by. He's like,
he's gonna come right back.
We'll talk about the. Is he coming?
Are you coming over here?
He's like, nah. Talk about the hosting side of things. How was your hosting journey? We're doing these after shows, getting on TV every week, and just being yourself.
I loved it. One moment that I really, besides working with you and everyone with Bring the Funny, which was so amazing. It was so extra inspiring when Maria Menounos, when we had that full day where it's like you get to do so many different things at the studio.
I couldn't go to those, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I got to go to that. It was like my first one. And we're doing like a teleprompter thing. And Maria, I did the run through with the teleprompter, and she was just like, what is she doing here? She should be like on EN Entertainment. Like, she doesn't need my help. And I'm going, can we get you on camera saying this?
She's like, of course not. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, getting the cosign.
Yeah, it's super cool. But the whole experience was so great because the more you're doing it, you could just see how you evolve.
Right.
And like any little thing, you just grow. And it's a great experience. And it helps. If you're an actor, it helps because you're just like on fire all the time.
Right.
It's a momentum thing. Yeah.
That sounds very zen of you. It's a momentum thing.
It's a momentum. Yeah. So then when I would have auditions, I would just be like, yeah, what's up? I'm here. Like, you know, it's just like,
Yeah. Because
sometimes when you take a break and you're not in front of a camera, it's not like I don't get nervous, but it's just more like oh shit, like I haven't done this in a while. That's why it's like, it's good to always be on. It's always good. Like I take classes.
Yeah.
All the time. Even during the pandemic, I was taking a class at AFA. I took classes at CB. What is it called? I even wrote it here because I was like, oh, there was so many classes. Clive Barnaby Acting Studio. I won like a free class for the month.
Oh, nice.
During the pandemic, I've taken like Sherry Shaw, which she has like a book, Positive Path for Actors. Sherry Shaw is the bomb.
Not the negative path, the positive path for actors.
Positive path, yeah. And Flappers, but Flappers was before, you know, like.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I said on the Bring the Funny Actor show, I learned that you also did stand-up comedy as well.
Yeah.
Jackie Nova, two questions. One, what don't you do? And two, tell me more about your comedy career. How'd you get into that part of your...
You know, I got into that because back in New York, I always loved theater, and I've done some theater. You know, like I got to play Mimi in Rent, but that was like an understudy. I got to do like the Caribbean tour, Mimi in Rent. So like I love this cat is going wild. He's like, yes, she did Mimi, and but I love the stage. I love it. Like if you go to my YouTube channel, look at him wilding out. If you go to my YouTube channel, you see some of my stand-up comedy.
Okay.
I love it. I love being on stage. I can't just get enough of it. But I was like, geez, when I started doing stand-up here, I'm like, are we getting paid for this? We gotta have how many people say?
Oh yeah, it's LA, man. You're not getting paid here in New York.
I'm like, it's not getting paid. But I mean, it's a great feeling to be on stage. It's a great feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love. I entered. I don't know if I'm gonna like be part of it, but it's called Entre Nos, and it's with HBO Latino, and it's a comedy competition for Latinos.
Oh,
so
nice.
I literally just entered that, and we will find out.
So like a stand-up competition, or you do sketches, or okay?
Yeah, stand-up competition. Yeah.
How would you describe your stand-up though? Because I know that's a question I get a lot, and as a comic, I'm like, I can't be described. People, do you have a way to describe your on-stage presence?
I love talking about like just my experiences of me and my family, but my style is very like how my personality is, how my energy is.
Full Nova.
Sort of like bah, bah, bah. There's always some sort of dancing. There's a little bit of singing that I mix in there. It's very animated because I'm a very animated person. I just know that. I'm like very big personality.
Yeah. Has your family seen your stuff and they're like, oh, that was rough, or oh, that was pretty funny? What was there?
No, they're like, oh my God, I love this stuff. and like I'll mention something about a cousin and they'll be like, what cousin are you talking about? Like,
oh no.
Who are you talking about? I'm like,
yeah. I bet you think this sketch is about you, don't you?
Oh God, it's too much fun. It's too much
Jackie,
fun.
with the shade, would you ever go back, or is that on hiatus? Have you moved on? Where's that?
Yeah, to stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait for Jackie Nova Live at the Roxy or whatever venue. What is your dream venue? Do you have a dream venue to perform in?
Well, I mean, I really want to be like have like a Netflix special and HBO.
Okay. I like it. Yeah.
That's like that's why when I saw the Entre Nos with the HBO Latino, which is Flo trying to
This is why I play music, Haywood. I can't sing it.
Carly Simon. I love that. Man. Yeah. No, I'm totally going back into it for sure. That's why I entered the competition because I'm like, I don't know how that. See, I think they pick like 10 comedians and then they narrow it down, and then the one who wins gets to have an HBO special. Yeah.
And when you think are you thinking of something like more intimate, like Chappelle's, where it's like, you know, in a backyard? Are you thinking the big studio theater? Like, do you have they go? Because for me. What's up?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
The King's Theater or like Barclays is always like the dream. Okay, it's right there in the hometown. 20,000 people. Like, I would love to do that arena, or the Orpheum in Los Angeles. But I know some comedians are like, no. I want to be in a comedy club for my special. Look at that intimate feel and vibe.
I would listen. I would take either or.
Fair.
I would take either or. I love it to be with people because right now there's some stuff where like Flappers has like Flo and Jackie hits Broadway. Yes, let's do that. But there's some stuff that it's like on Zoom, and now they have drive-in comedy.
Right.
You seen that?
I've seen it. I am not a fan quite yet. Maybe that's the norm, but to me, it's weird. It feels like very what's the word? Like wax museum or like funhouse. I'll tell you a joke. Just I don't know. It's weird.
And people are like beeping the horn, like if they think it's funny, they're like lighting their lights and like beeping the horn, beep 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 beep.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna feel like I'm an alien or something. I'm gonna want to walk up to the cars, like, did you hear me? Like I'm gonna.
Yeah. Excuse me, sir, your lights are off. What's wrong with you? That's not funny.
Yeah.
It's a
So
weird.
funny.
But I feel weird too, because on the other side, like, what if that is the new normal, and I'm just being that old fogey who's not getting with the times, and so I'm like, I don't know, like okay, so with at least for me, for comedy, what makes it great is taking things that are happening in our life that we don't notice our patterns and bringing up those patterns on stage. Isn't it funny how this happens, right? But like I felt in 2020, we all got the same experience. We all were in our house. We all fought over toilet paper. We all saw more political movies and TV shows than we cared to see. And so that was a challenge. People think, the 2020 jokes write themselves, but everyone is looking at memes daily. So you have to have material that can like last beyond that. And that's been the challenge, at least for me as a comedy writer. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that what we should do is maybe dig even deeper and find some stuff that's probably not even from 2020. Maybe it's something you've never used and you just kind of dig even deeper. I don't know. If not, you just start making up some crazy wild stuff about 2020. I don't know.
I love it. No, I want to see this next.
I mean, I have such a huge family. I just know that there's some stuff that I'm like, oh my God, I could have talked about that and I didn't do it. I could have talked about like, so many things.
So Thanksgiving's gonna show up. You wanna go to your family's house with an iPad and just watch? Hey Jack, what are you doing? Just taking notes. Just go talk amongst yourselves.
With this freaking coronavirus and pandemic, like we've lost some family members back east to this.
Oh man, sorry to say, yeah. I mean,
It's
2 degrees of separation in my case. I know people have lost people like on our block, but not my family quite yet. Yeah. This is when people say it's a hoax. You're just like, is it though? Is it a hoax? Okay.
Yeah, it's like no, it's not. No, it's not. So we're just keeping it very simple. We're not doing any like I'm not traveling anywhere. I'm all good. You better send me to like New Zealand and do the Avatar movie. Then I'll travel. Then
you for the billions of dollars, you can probably take all the precautions in the world. So it's all good.
I know. It's like you have to be super masked up and whole like look like an astronaut.
It really is like rolling a roulette wheel. I mean, not to make things doom and gloom. Southern California got back into purple alert, which is the worst.
It's purple. Yeah.
It's not purple. It's so red. It's not even red anymore. It's purple.
It's purple.
I live by myself, and the only interaction I have with people is when I go grocery shopping. But it's like, even then, you're like, well, can I not go today? But I should go. Like, it's this weird vibe. You don't know when to catch it because I'm also self-employed. It's just nuts. But not to make it all doom and gloom. There's some happy stuff.
Listen, you guys, if you're feeling like down during the pandemic, and trust me, listen, put a little music on, start dancing, do the rumba boomba.
Yeah.
So
wait, do you Roomba? Do you
Oh my God, yo soy dominicana. I dance all the time. Look, you guys, watch the little rap video that Richard and I made, which is vote Biden-Harris, vote Biden-Harris. I'm rapping, he's rapping, we are dancing. I mean, it's so much fun.
I thought you were more a merengue fan, but you just said you dance everything.
Totally merengue and salsa.
Well, my name in Spanish is No Tiene Ritmo. That's why I asked anyone who can dance if they have rhythm, because I don't. That's
You see what I'm saying? And some people think like right away when we're, people of color, and they're like, oh, they must know how to dance, and it's like, oh, but can they? Because they don't all know how to dance.
I get in my head. I mean, if when I've been buzzed, I've been told I have them hips, but most times when I'm sober, it ain't happening. I'm doing the robot. I'm at
hips don't lie.
Yeah, exactly. So
you like it? You like it?
Oh yeah. Did I tell you I visited the Dominican Republic?
What happened?
I visited La República Dominicana back in '07. It was my graduation present. I stayed in San Isabelita, right outside Santo Domingo. Yeah,
Wow.
I loved it there because I look like a Dominican person.
Of course.
People think I am all the time. It's like,
When I met you, I was like, oh, ese dominicano, ¿cómo está? No, no, no. And you were like,
hola que hay, by the way. But it's funny because I say this story all the time. If you guys have heard this story in other episodes, I apologize. But I tried Spanish in school. I was terrible at it. I took a study abroad at Costa Rica, which is strong in some ways, but they don't have the two form. They have vos, which is a whole different tense. But I came up playing super fluent. I was like, yo, don't even stop mis maletas. Like, I was like all about it. But then, you know, you get things over time. So when I hear people speaking Spanish, I'm like, man, I was so close to being bilingual. Can't do Duolingo. Can't do any of that stuff. I need to go over there and just like live in an area for a year.
You're the type that needs to like immerse yourself.
Yeah, man.
That's like with friends. See, like I know how to speak Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish because I'm American Dominican, and my mother made that real straight. She's like, listen, I didn't come here from Dominican Republic for you to keep saying you're just Dominican. You need to say American Dominican.
Right.
Because I worked real hard to get into America. So say
Shout out to
American.
Mama Nova.
I'm like, yes, Mom. Yes, I get it now, American Dominican. But I have Duolingo on my phone because, like, I love French.
Ooh.
Ay, Puerto Rico.
Hola, Puerto Rico. Hey.
Yeah, I have family in Puerto Rico también, en Cuba y cosas así, Miami, and all that stuff. Yeah, we can get very Spanish up in here.
I love it. Me encanta.
Me encanta. So yeah,
You
go
were
ahead.
saying French? You were learning French.
Oui. Oui, monsieur.
I took one semester, and that's the only thing I learned was "Je m'appelle Flobito." That's it. That was an entire semester wasted.
But I feel you feel like you need to be there because I feel like if I was like 1 year in France, I would get it.
Yeah,
I would get it. It's not the case for my son. My son knows Japanese, knows Korean, Russian. He knows how to read German. He knows how to. I don't
Is
know.
he any of those though? Is he any of those?
He is German, Italian, Dominican.
Okay. He was like, nah, man. He's actually like
Born
from
back-
like Poland or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's born back. But yeah, he went to school in Japan when he was in high school. He went to high school over there as well.
Yeah. Is he also creative? Is he?
He's so creative. He's so talented. He did a lot of little commercials when he was a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, computer science engineering is his world. And he's so smart, but he's very creative. Such a great writer, such a natural. Yeah, one day, we'll see. We'll see if he pops up on the screen, if he feels like it.
Okay. So we're talking about like languages and cultures. Is there anything left on your travel bucket list? Like, what is something that has not seen or graced the presence of Jackie Nova?
I would like, well, now I'm really like, please pandemic be over and please people wear your mask so that we can all get better and nobody can get infected. Because I've never been to Europe.
Really?
Never.
Gotta go to France, y'all.
I've been to Japan.
I want to go to Japan.
You know what I mean? You've been to Japan too?
No, that's the one goal of my life is to go to Japan. I've been blocked 3 different times in my life of going to Japan. And so I was going to go in April. I had a comedy show in April in Tokyo. And that was the last time I was able to go.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so the thing about comedy is I keep wanting to push it and say I want to try a new state, try a new locale. So in March, I was blessed enough to go back to my college and teach freshmen and sophomore comedy, stand-up comedy. And that was like the Thursday the world shut down. And I came back to Sunday, like scared on my plane ride back going, do I have it already? And that was it. But I had 2 gigs, one in Alaska and one in Japan. And that was like, I will get to you at some point. I swear, Nippon. Yeah. Yeah. But.
Now that's crazy. Oh my God, I know. Sometimes, it's the way stuff works. I just want everybody to be safe. And please wear your mask when you're out there and follow the rules. Stay 6 feet apart. Doesn't that kind of bug you? Like when people like really like just keep pushing up on you. I'm online sometimes and I'm like, don't you see the dots? I actually turn around and I look at them and as nice as I am, I'm like, 6 feet. Do I have to carry an umbrella with me? It would be like 6 feet apart.
Yeah, you guys so New York. Yo, money, the dots. I damn.
They're like, damn, this was all about her dots and her, you know?
Yo, but you're right. It does trip me out because there is the stickers, and you can see at the point where it breaks down, and there's someone like in between the sticker, and you're like, well, then what's the point of the effing stickers? You know what I'm saying? Like,
What are you doing? I'm like, back up. And
I have no insurance. Help me out, y'all. Like, come on.
I was like, I don't even care. I'm like, back up.
Yeah.
Like, get up.
So Europe in general. So you would do like a Europe tour, backpack through Europe or anything like that?
Absolutely. Do a whole full tour of Europe. Full tour. Yeah.
As far as Europe countries, I think Portugal is on my list, but the big ones are Japan and Australia. Those are the big ones.
Yeah.
Age, y'all.
Yeah, Australia seems like so breathtaking, minus the spiders and koalas.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
But, as long as you stay away from those little areas, you'll be fine. My niece went to Australia, rubbed it in my face. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, and my one niece is half Portuguese, and she's always in Portugal, and I'm like, I haven't been there.
Yeah.
Oh, damn,
Haywood Wong says some you guys laugh, some don't care. You're absolutely right, man. Look, man, not to make it political, but like those who also know all my shows, my dad is like, he's like a registered Republican. He's like staunch on the right. And, not to say he understands it's real. He's not saying it's a hoax or anything. But as far as he's concerned, it's a thing you can get over there. What's the big deal? Open things up, And my mom, who's in the same house as my dad, is like shut herself in. Like she hasn't left her room in months. So, also, Haywood says Jackie don't like koalas. Yep.
I do love koalas, though. I do love koalas. I'm just like, they look like they have really big claws. I'm just saying, I'd be like, can you please maybe file their nails before? I used to actually be pretty obsessed with, I had a little clip thing that I would put by my locker in school, and it was a koala, because I just thought they were the cutest little thing ever. They are super.
Hold on, Jackie. I don't hate koalas, but they need to groom themselves before they get to my presence. Is that what you're saying? Oh my goodness, you hate koalas.
Have you seen their nails? It's scary looking.
I can tell I hate koalas.
They're so cute. They're so cute. But my favorite clearly are cats. Cats and little dogs.
That is just breaking news, y'all.
Breaking news. Koalas, file your nails, please.
Before we get like shut out by the Australian government. I was actually stalking you this week, Jackie Nova.
Oh, yeah?
You do so many things. And it turns out that besides acting, and besides hosting, and besides voice acting, and besides producing, and besides getting into the whole health scene, especially in that scene you did in Art and Deception, you're also into music as well. Now, I rolled up on your SoundCloud like, let me see what genre of music Jackie Nova does. Answer, all of them. What? Can you explain this to me? All your songs are from all different genres, Jackie.
They're all different genres because, like, I was experimenting with every genre because I'm like, I just love music. I just love the art. Wait before approaching. I just love music. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like with the rap song that Richard just raps. He's not into. I mean, he's into all music, but he's not like, it's not like he's going to sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to do a pop song.
Right.
He clearly rap. Yeah. But I'm like, I love pop, but I can sing rock. I don't have any country music on there, but I could totally do country. I just love for now.
Well, it's funny to me about this because yes, there's the standard genre, there's pop, there's a little bit of urban flavor, I could say that, and there's EDM. But as someone who grew up with the stuff, because my parents were into it, you actually have doo-wop songs. Like, what was the inspiration to go into a doo-wop song in the 2010s, 2020s?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you about the doo-wop. The doo-wop was because a friend of mine who produced it, they were pitching it for a movie.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, Jackie can sing anything, because can transform my voice, and I was just like, oh, cool. Yeah, you want me to sound like that, like in the 1950s? Cool, yeah. I'll do that. And then it's just like practicing, and then it's like I do it, and then what we do.
Do you have a genre you prefer?
I love pop and I would want to mix it with like merengue. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Which, another fun fact, I have told that to Jean-Claude Wyclef. I've told him that because we met one time and we were at a Jay Leno show that he was performing at, and I did tell him I wanted to mix pop with merengue, but we were supposed to do that, and he went along off. And months later, I heard something on the radio like what I was pitching him with Shakira. Yeah. So I kind of got turned off by the music business because there's so many skeezy people. So,
oh no.
Yeah, so it was just, like I was just like experimenting with different music. I was like, but I love music. I want to, sure, I'll try. Some of it was because we were pitching it for different movies. So then it's like, oh, now I have like this library of different music. You know?
Do you do songs for fun, or is something that when inspiration strikes, or is it like a thing where once you get the challenge or the movie or the TV show that is opening for inspiration? Like, do you sit home and think of songs to write, or is it like, oh, it's a movie, it needs a song, I'm going to the booth?
It's a little bit of both, but maybe a little more if it's like a project. Then it feels like there's an urgency, and then it's like we do it.
Yeah.
But I know that Richard and I were talking about that because he writes fairly quickly. So we're like, all right, let's try, since it's pandemic and you can't shoot as much. If you do, it's very limited. Let's work on something so we can put out some more songs, you and I.
So personally, these are the two genres I like the most, and I know this is like I'm only one guy, so don't take my word for it, fans. Because I grew up in the '90s in New York, there's the hip hop rise, but the '90s New York house, right? And you have some tracks in there that throws me back to that time, that KTU 103.5 FM throwbacks. I love that. That was the heyday, right?
Woo-wee.
Jocelyn Enriquez, do you miss me? No, okay, whatever. I'm singing too much in this episode. But also my parents, when they came, especially my dad, when he came to this country, he was all about that CBS 101, that old cousin Brucey, that doo-wop, that 50s, that classic radio stuff. And here you have someone, yourself, who can go through those like seamlessly. To me, I was like, damn, Jackie, I mean, what? Like, now you gotta do a spoken word album and a country album and a hip hop track. You gotta do all that now to just collect them all like the Infinity Stones from the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? This is dope.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, there's like 18 tracks on that thing. So.
What if it's on SoundCloud, right? If anyone wants to check it out.
SoundCloud, and there's on iTunes. There's another song that it's the one that Richard and I have, which is with Art of Deception.
Okay.
I'll put that in there so you guys can check it out.
I like it, and make sure people do that and follow Jackie after the show. She'll let us know we can do that. But moving on, this is probably my favorite part of the show right now because this is actually true. So if you guys are watching this, if you guys are picking this up late, I'm with Jackie Nova. She is a comedian. She is a writer, producer, actress, fitness model. Apparently, I don't really know. Musician, dancer, and professional wrestler. You trained to wrestle, Jackie Nova?
Yes, I did.
Wow, women in wrestling. How did you find wow? How?
Well, okay, let me tell you how wow. First of all, on LA Casting, there was it was a whole audition process.
Okay.
For this wow. And I submitted myself, they called me in, and it happened to be that I also know Beast from WoW.
Right, former WoW champion.
Yeah, her husband knows Richard, and it's like I was like, what? Small world.
Yeah.
And I made the cut, and we practiced. We practiced. But then things happen, pandemic happens. I don't know, no shows happen. So there's
yeah.
It's a hardcore rehearsal, like practice.
Sure.
I mean, it's literally like just like a super intense workout. A lot of burpees, a lot of you get to do some moves. They take it easy with that until you're more in the mix.
Right.
So my abs were getting very ripped. with working out with them. Yeah.
Oh well, man, maybe I should no. But how's the thing? Like, what made you decide? Okay, yeah, becoming a wrestler is one thing, but you go through the first day. A lot of wrestlers have said, or told me, or told other people, and I totally read the articles. That first day is such a killer. I mean, what were you looking to do? Were you looking to prove you can hang? Did you imagine yourself being the champion? Like, what was the goal?
Well, the goal for me was the honest, truthful goal was because I was obsessed with the show Glow.
Right.
We all know that show Glow, and they're all wrestlers. I wanted to prove that I can hang because I wanted to be on that show. So it wasn't even so much like I wanted it just being wow, because I was like, well, I don't want to that's not like my thing.
Right.
My thing is I want to incorporate that, look, I can do this, so I can be on this show.
True.
That was my thing. That was like my objective. That was like I was like laser focused, like I'm going to be on this show, but then the show canceled.
That's that big brain thinking. What does Jackie Nova in WoW look like? Is it yourself? Is it a different character? Is it like, what will be your gimmick, if I could ask?
I mean, we didn't even come up with a gimmick at the point, but I mean, I feel like the gimmick would have to be she's very dark and maybe a little bit evil, and maybe because it's a little maybe too easy to be like I don't have eyes like some people are like, well, when I see your eyes, like we can tell you're a good soul, but there's something a little devilish about you. I'm Scorpio.
Is that a compliment?
I'd probably be like the Scorpion Queen or something. You know what I mean? Like, at least that's what's in my head. Because at first I was like, I'm a kitty cat. Because I kept showing up with my cat ears. But, one of the head people were just like, okay, enough with the cat thing. We already have like a cat, whatever. And I'm like, a lot of cats. I was like, okay, I guess maybe, who knows? Maybe I'll be a Scorpio or something.
Well, it's funny because you got in a good time. Because as a kid, there was the original WoW that was out in 2001, which I enjoyed, but I was also a 15-year-old boy because there was no wrestling at all. Like, the girls there were so green. They were so, like, amateur. But, like, this version of WoW, they really, hunkered down, and it really was an entertaining show. Of course, it's still over the top because it's WoW. But, like, it still had, like a legit cred to it, which is pretty awesome, the fact you decided to do it. Because I always wanted to do it. I dabbled in wrestling back in 2010 as a ring announcer and as a commentator, but taking a bump, I'm like, nah, nope. I got weak joints. All over my body. There ain't no way.
I never got to the point where I had to like get bumped or anything like that. But it was a lot of fun doing the exercises and getting on the ring. Because, I grew up as an athlete. Like, I have brothers. We all did baseball. We did gymnastics. We flag football, so I was always like, like the tomboy.
Oh.
That's kind of why it was like, to me, really easy. Like, oh, here I am. Let's just fly in the air. But it's so cool.
I feel like I would have been the athlete in my family because I'm like the tallest person. I have the biggest muscle mass, but I was just so heavy that I didn't really do much. I dabbled in football in high school. That could have been the career. My mom saved my brain and told me to do student government instead, and so here I am. It's the middle of November. The holidays are coming up. I know we talked about Thanksgiving. You just taking it easy with the pandemic and everything. But how are you celebrating the holidays in 2020? What does that look like?
Okay, what it's gonna look like is because I believe Richard is gonna go up north to see his family. I am like, nope, I'm not doing any of that stuff. My son's here, so my son and I are gonna just have a quiet, simple Thanksgiving, which just means less cooking, but we'll both make turkey, we'll make mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes. We'll keep it really simple.
Yeah, Maduros or tostones?
Tostones.
Okay.
Yes. Pernil, which is
yes. Pernil, what?
Yeah, that was like one of my mom's favorite between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, when she passed away due to cancer, 2019, I'm like, I'm gonna still keep it going because we did last year. We kept it going and all that good stuff. But now it's like with the pandemic, nobody's flying, nobody's trying to fly. Tostones.
Tostones, man, I'm all about that.
Tostones, yes. But my son's a bit of a more health nut, so he's very into Japanese food and more plainer stuff. So we're just gonna keep it super healthy.
Yeah.
Super light. Yeah.
Christmas the same deal? Or do you do presents at all this year? Or?
Oh yeah. Thank God for Amazon. He's got a wish list. He's got a little wish list. I'm like, thank you. Please have a wish list because it's easy to shop. I'm not going to the stores. Wish list. There we go. Amazon.
Who doesn't?
Here we go.
I gotta ask a question, and I've asked everyone that I've known as far as like my friends, and only 10% have said yes. But do you keep resolutions, and if so, what are they?
Ooh, yes, of course I keep resolutions.
That's right, Jackie.
All right. Yes. Hello, resolutions.
I love it.
Resolutions.
Yeah.
Yes, amen to resolutions. I can't wait for 2021. I'm always super pumped about it. I don't even care if there's a pandemic. There's going to be a better 2021.
Yeah.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. When I do a resolution, it's not just for me, it's for everybody. Everybody's going to have a better 2021.
That is
Yes.
noble. Haywood Wong says, just give me flan, por favor.
Me too. I will send you flan.
Flan.
Flan con amore.
I love it. Jackie
But
Nova's...
I do have set goals. Like,
Oh, tell me.
for the end of the year, I was like, I need one national commercial and I need to be on a TV series. Like, I need to be a series regular on a show.
Okay.
So,
See, I thought you were going to share, but I'm so glad you did. No, that's cool.
it's got to happen. And I did audition for a series regular on a show called Blind Spotting with David Diggs, and he's one of the original cast members of Hamilton. So I'm not sure what's going on with that, but it's okay. If it's not for me, it's not for me. And gracias, no va de nada, Haywood.
She's like, Senorita.
Senorita.
I knew it. Dude, he gets so mad when they say senora.
Señora for 70 and up. Coño.
Oh, man, so funny. Senorita Nova.
That's like, it's gonna all work out.
Manifestation.
Series regular on a show, because if it's not by the end of the year, it'll be 2021. It's all gonna happen.
I don't know if you believe in crossing fingers or lighting a candle. I could do one of those for you. Hopefully
Yes,
you get
please
that
do. I got the candles lit up. I'll cross the fingers in the tube.
Yeah, I do once for every year. I do like a bucket list for the year, and I'll do like an overall bucket list. And I'm not really sure what next year is going to bring, because so much like kind of happened in this weird alternate way because of the pandemic. But I'm looking forward to it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jackie Nova, you do 1,000,001 things. Thank you so much for being on this week's edition of What's Up Flobo After Hours. Now, this is where you tell the world where they can find every single thing that you do.
Everything I know.
Yeah, which is great because you're just that great. Where can the world find you online?
Thank you. You guys can find me at Jackie Nova 7. That's right, Jackie Nova 7 across the board.
And
JackieNova.actor. So you can find my stuff there. And go to oxfilms.us. That way you can find our movie Art of Deception.
And if I want that Kamala Harris sketch, where do I go for that?
Yes, you could just go to Ox Films YouTube and you'll find the Kamala Harris sketch and the Kamala Harris song that we wrote for Biden Harris. Go Biden Harris, vote Biden Harris, vote. We all voted. Now you know. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you can
He
do.
won, but I don't know. Trump doesn't want to leave the office. It's a maldito Donald Duck quack quack. He don't want to leave.
Well, they will totally force him and remove him out. Okay, so as I'm checking over, I want you to come back because you're a fantastic individual. I'm only going through half of your resume. Final words for your fans that are watching now. Just say what's up before we get out of here.
All right, guys, please stay safe. Happy holidays. Wear your mask. Follow the rules. And I love you. Stay happy. Happy. Think happy thoughts.
The bed is still the